Hey, I'm Dr. Davis. I'm going to teach you one of the simplest tools that you can use to rehab your own pain and injuries at home. It's the simplest, easiest advice that I give patients every single day at the clinic. So let's say that you hurt your back and you're having trouble and bending over really hurts. Well, the advice I give patients all the time is to find the hardest thing that you can do well without pissing it off. See, the advice that most people get is the worst advice you could get, which is to baby your injury. Don't do that. Find the hardest thing that you can do well without pissing it off. So what is bending over? We're assuming that you have low back pain. This is just an example though, okay? Get the concept. Let's say you have low back pain and bending over really hurts. Well, what is bending over? It's actually just spinal flexion that seems to hurt you. So for some reason, right now, your back doesn't like this movement. Well, if we can find some variation of movement that your back is okay with, then you can ease your way back into normal activity. Just because bending over and trying to pick up something heavy off the floor hurts your back doesn't mean that all types of bending of the spine are bad for you. We just gotta find the hardest thing that you can do well that involves some bending of the spine. Now, if you're in a lot of pain, probably the hardest thing you could do well is get on your hands and knees like this and just gently round the back. Don't force it, maybe that's too much for now. But if you can gently move your spine through a small and easy cat-cow, maybe as the days go by, you can get towards a full cat-cow position here, and then maybe you can progress towards this child's pose rock back here, where you go all the way back and really round your spine, but we're doing it gently. And then we can kind of attack the problem head on. So bending over hurts. Well, what if you could bend over without rounding your spine? Well, maybe for a little while, you take a pole or a broom and you touch your head, your mid-back, and your crack to the pole, and we hinge forward. So now we have a way of bending forward to pick things up without rounding the spine. This is a temporary activity. Once you can do it with body weight, maybe you can grab a kettlebell. Maybe start small and work your way up. Same activity, hold a kettlebell, bend forward from the waist using the hip joints and your strong gluteus maximus to achieve this movement. However, some of you are gonna have a very high tolerance for physical activity because you're coming from a place of being very physically fit. If that's the case, maybe you don't have to start with cat-cows and that kind of thing. You don't have to baby your spine so much. For you, the hardest thing that you can do well might still be barbell deadlifting, which is very hard for most people. But for you, we're trying to find the hardest thing that you can do well today without excessive amounts of pain and without making your pain worse as a result of exercise. In other words, find the hardest thing you can do without pissing it off. So maybe you've been deadlifting hundreds of pounds and now your back really hurts to bend over and pick that up. Well, you don't have to do 200 pounds, 300 pounds in a deadlift to get benefit from it. Stay active, and yeah, it might be a little bit of a hit to your ego to drop down to 95 pounds on the bar if that's where you were at, but this way you can stay active. Maybe doing deadlifts at 95 pounds allows you to keep lifting and keep loading your spine, stay active, keep your stress relieving activities, keep your blood pumping, keep your physical activity up while your back heals. So maybe for you, this is easing it up. Maybe 95 pounds on a barbell for you is taking it really easy. If that's the case, don't be afraid to calm shit down for a little while so that later you can build shit back up. Be patient, and wherever you're at, whether that's with gentle cat-cows or barbell deadlifting or anywhere in between, just take it easy, do a little test, try to find the hardest thing that you can do well, but remember the second half of that sentence, which is that doesn't piss it off. So find the hardest thing that you can do well that doesn't piss your pain off, and then gradually increase the intensity over time. This is the simplest advice that I give patients in clinic all the time. If you have questions about low back pain and you want to take a course to really walk you step by step through the process of how to rehab your own low back pain at home, I just released a course on low back pain rehab. It's part of the membership. Go to my website, check that out. See you in another video.